Big shock the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, besties. Today is a beautiful, sunny day outside, but inside my soul, it is a dark, stormy night of pure chaos because we have so much to unpack right now. Grab your iced coffees and strap in because we are going on a wild ride today. You guys, I am deceased. Stop what you are doing. I am literally shaking. Wait, we need to talk about this now. I am physically vibrating from the sheer audacity of what just went down on our screens. I cannot even begin to process the absolute cinematic mayhem that has just been unleashed upon us. My jaw is permanently on the floor, my mind is completely blown, and I am genuinely spiraling into another dimension. We are not just watching this show anymore, besties, we are invested, we are traumatized, and we are absolutely living for every single and hinged second of it. I was mid-skincare and smeared charcoal mask all over the rug when this scene played out. Literally had to yeet my phone across the room because I could not handle the sheer gravity of the situation. Send help, my soul has actually left my body. I am hyperventilating right now just thinking about it. We all knew Phyllis Summers was standing on the edge of a very steep cliff, but I did not expect her to straight up swan dive into the abyss while holding a weapon. Bestie, be for real right now. Phyllis has officially lost the plot, the script, the director, and the entire production company. She is gone. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. We need to set the stage for this absolute dumpster fire. So, Phyllis has been losing her mind because Matt Clark went missing. Remember how she took off his ankle monitor and gave him a job, thinking she could control this chaotic man? Yeah, well, he vanished, and Phyllis went into a full-blown manic episode. She was running around Genoa City, screaming at Adam Newman, accusing the entire Newman family of burying Matt in a shallow grave somewhere. Her paranoia was at an all-time high, and honestly, the vibes were atrocious. She was acting like a woman who had absolutely nothing left to lose, which is honestly so unhinged when you realize she is already facing prison time for that holy eye evidence scandal with Victor. Oh, hold on. I should have mentioned this earlier, but Victor Newman has been pulling the strings this entire time. Did I say that yet? Oof, my brain is mush. Moving on, Victor has been waiting for Phyllis to implode. He literally offered her a deal to take over her company in exchange for making the criminal charges go away, and she spat in his face. So Victor has just been sitting back, sipping his scotch, watching her dig her own grave. And boy, did she just bring an excavator to the cemetery. So Phyllis is tearing through the outskirts of the city, checking every single shady corner to find Matt. She is basically a heat-seeking missile made of pure desperation and hairspray. She is Leng CNC Kapkak Angingat, turning over every rock. And then she finally tracks him down, but it is not to some supervillain lair or a high-end GCAC suite. No, she tracks him to this absolute nightmare of a dingy, rundown motel on the outskirts of town. Let's veer off for a second because I need to talk about the aesthetic of this motel. It was giving major horror movie vibes. There was this flickering neon sign outside that was buzzing so loudly I could hear it through my television screen, and the wallpaper inside the hallway looked like it had been peeling since 1998. It smelled like cheap bleach and despair. I just know it did. Why do these characters always end up in places with questionable plumbing when they have millions of dollars? It makes zero sense, but the aesthetic was perfectly grimy for what was about to happen. Wait, I'm glitching? Okay, back to the main event. So Phyllis is stomping down this terrifying motel hallway, her eyes wide, her breathing heavy. She thinks she is about to stage a rescue mission. She genuinely believes Matt is in danger, probably tied to a chair by Victor's goons. She reaches the door, and the psychological tension is astronomical. You can literally feel the erratic thumping of her heart. She turns the knob, pushes the door open, and steps into the dimly lit room. And what does she see? Besties, I am screaming into a pillow just thinking about it. She does not see a hostage situation. She sees a bed. And in that bed, tangled in the cheap, scratchy motel sheets, is Matt Clark, but he is not alone. Oh no, he is fast asleep, wrapped in the arms of none other than Patty Williams, the absolute bane of Phyllis's existence. The woman who has terrorized this town, kidnapped babies, and caused unimaginable trauma. I need to pause because my brain is actively malfunctioning. Matt Clark and Patty Williams. They are officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done. Bestie, be for real right now. Patty Williams is the woman who poisoned Summer Newman, Phyllis's own flesh and blood. Patty is the woman who just kidnapped Abby and baby Dominic to torture Ashley. She is a certified, unhinged menace to society, and Matt is just casually spooning her in a motel bed like they are on a romantic weekend getaway. I am genuinely sick to my stomach. Phyllis just stands there in the doorway, and you can see the exact moment her sanity snaps like a dry twig. The sheer, blinding jealousy and the profound betrayal wash over her face. She thought Matt was her twisted ally, her last anchor in a world that was rapidly turning against her. And to find him with Patty, the woman who tried to murder her daughter. It wasn't just betrayal, it was a personal attack on her soul. I felt personally victimized just watching it. This is where the high-octane psychological masterpiece kicks into overdrive. Phyllis doesn't scream, she doesn't cry. She goes completely, terrifyingly silent. Her eyes glaze over with this feral, dead-eyed stare. She spots a small table near the door. And on that table, because of course there is a fruit knife. Let me just go off on a tangent here. Why is there always a random fruit knife in these motel rooms? Who is eating fresh fruit in a place that probably has bed bugs? Was Matt peeling an apple before he got into bed with a kidnapper? The handle of the knife looked so cheap, like plastic faux wood, but in that moment, it might as well have been Excalibur because Phyllis picked it up with the grip of a woman possessed. She grabs the knife. She doesn't even hesitate. The jealousy is completely blinding. It is a primal, animalistic rage. She lunges across the room. It happens so fast, but also in agonizing slow motion. Phyllis throws herself onto the bed, aiming straight for Patty. And you guys, she actually does it. She stabs Patty. The sound design in this scene was straight up traumatizing. The sickening thud, the immediate, blood-curdling scream that rips from Patty's throat. Blood starts blossoming across the white motel sheets, soaking into the fabric instantly. It is an absolute bloodbath. Patty is thrashing, screaming in pure agony, her eyes wide with shock. And the chaos is so loud, so violent, that Matt violently jolts awake. He wakes up from his peaceful little slumber to find himself in the middle of a literal horror movie. Matt's face was a picture of pure, unadulterated terror. He is scrambling backward against the headboard, staring at Phyllis like she is the devil incarnate. And honestly, she kind of was in that moment. Phyllis is just standing over the bed, panting heavily, her hands covered in blood, holding that cheap little fruit knife. But the scariest part wasn't the blood or the screaming. It was Phyllis's eyes. Her eyes were completely hollow. The manic energy from earlier was gone, replaced by this chilling, vacant emptiness. You could see the exact second the adrenaline wore off and reality crashed down on her. She looked down at her hands, looked at Patty bleeding out on the bed, and realized what she had just done. She had crossed the ultimate line. There is no coming back from attempted murder. There is no spinning this to a judge. She didn't just cross a boundary. She nuked the bridge, the river, and the entire town behind her. Which is honestly so unhinged because she basically just handed Victor Newman her life on a silver platter. Did I say that yet? My brain is spinning. Victor has been waiting for her to make a fatal mistake. He wanted her in prison, and he wanted her out of his family's lives forever. He tried to get her on white-collar crimes with the IA emails, but this is a violent felony. Phyllis just did Victor's dirty work for him. She locked her own cell door and handed him the key. I am literally hyperventilating right now. Victor is probably sitting at the ranch right now, petting a cat like a Bond villain, laughing into his whiskey glass. He didn't even have to lift a finger to destroy Phyllis Summers. She destroyed herself over a man who was sleeping with a psychopathic kidnapper. I cannot even handle the tragic irony of it all. Phyllis fought so hard to survive, to beat Victor, to protect her legacy, and she threw it all away in a dingy motel room over a momentary lapse of sanity. And don't even get me started on the vibes of what comes next. I'm calling it the villain arc is about to go nuclear, manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update. Because think about it. Patty is bleeding out. Will she survive? If Patty dies, Phyllis is a murderer. If Patty lives, she is going to unleash a level of vengeance on Phyllis that will make the Salem witch trials look like a tea party. Patty does not forgive, and she certainly does not forget. And what about Matt? He just witnessed his boss, lover, stab his other lover. He is a master manipulator, but even he looked completely out of his depth. Is he going to turn Phyllis in? Is he going to use this to blackmail her? Or is he just going to run for the hills because he realizes that the women in Genoa City are actually terrifying? I am so unwell. I literally have to go lie down on the floor and stare at the ceiling for an hour to process this. Phyllis is going to jail. The bug, Christine Blair, is probably going to be the job prosecuting her, which is just the cherry on top of this miserable Sunday. Christine is going to have a field day locking Phyllis up for stabbing Patty Williams. The courtroom drama is going to be astronomical. Wait, backtrack. I need to scream about Summer for a second. Summer is going to come back to town and find out her mother is in prison for stabbing the woman who poisoned her when she was a child. The psychological layers to this trauma are so deep, I need a scuba suit to explore them. Phyllis thought she was protecting what was hers, but she just lost everything. I am genuinely straight up devastated for her. But also, girl, what were you thinking? You do not bring a fruit knife to a Patty Williams fight. You call the police. You walk away. But no, Phyllis has to be the most dramatic, destructive force of nature on the planet. Okay, I need to wrap this up before I actually pass out from lack of oxygen. This episode changed the trajectory of my entire life. I will never look at a motel room or a fruit knife the same way again. Drop your unhinged theories in the comments below because I need to know I am not spiraling alone. Are you Team Phyllis? Are you Team Patty? Are you Team Victor just winning everything? Let me know, besties. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and for the love of everything, don't stab anyone over Matt Clark. Bye.